minutes, but it is 15 minutes. Yes, I'm starting. Okay. So I'm starting virtualization. Okay. What is the virtualization? What is virtual? What is a virtual which is not real? Can we say, right? Normally, what is virtual which is not real, which is not physically existing? If it is physically existing, if it is not physically existing, tell me how you access the virtual machine, right? It's a virtual machine, right? It is a machine. You take in a server, you install a server operating system, and you install a domain controller, and you created users, and you went to the client, and you add a client to domain, and you log in with the domain user, both server and client. Here, virtual machines only. How can you say it is not real, right? So normally people said what is virtual, which is not real, which is physically not existing, but it is existing. If it is not existing, you cannot able to work on it, right? If physically not existing means how can you work with that? You're working with it, right? So that is wrong statement. Now how to tell virtualization? That is a big deal. Okay, so here we can say easy statement because I written in some notes when I learn what is virtualization time. Usually like a VMware time, but problem is I don't carry that notes now. Okay. Even I don't know where I keep it. Okay. So what is a virtualization? He given something in computing. Virtualization is the act of creating a virtual version of something. Virtual version of something, including virtual computer hardware, platform, storage, and computer resources. What is the meaning of virtualization? Also, different statements are there. We'll take different statements and understand. Okay. Okay. VMware giving this statement, virtualization statement now. So we'll take from the VMware also. As certain words we don't understand from any different organizations will give sounding is different. So we'll see the from VMware. Virtualization is the process of creating a software based or virtual representing of something such as a virtual application, server, storage, and network. It is the single most efficient way to reduce the IT expenses while boosting efficiency agility for all businesses. Is also not giving a statement. Different type of virtualizations are telling like a desktop virtualization, application virtualization, server virtualization, network virtualization, and storage virtualization. Two types of virtualization, three type of virtualizations. So your different people are giving different kind of things, but one of my sir told one statement, not used name is something Ali or something, maybe you know Zoom technologies, he given this statement. Okay, I learn VMware vSphere in a Zoom technologies, he given one statement. What is that one? Virtualization is by functionality, use the word by functionality. It acts like a same as a normal, but it is um, not binding to physical resources. Understand? By functionality, it act like a physical one, but it is not binding to physical resources. It's not binding to its physical resources. So that is virtualization. He said like that. Just for example, virtual machine. What is that? This is the virtual machine. Okay, this is virtual machine. It's a function like a normal machine only, right? It is functioning. I can able to install the application. I can install the roles. I can access network, right? So this is function like a normal machine only. It function like a normal machine only, like a physical machine only. It is functioning, and it is utilizing the resources. It is utilizing my resources. Understand? It is utilizing my RAM. It is utilizing my processor. It is utilizing my hard disk. Okay, it is utilizing physical resources, but it is not binded. It is not binded. It means it won't stick into my machine and all. So if I shut down that machine, not it won't utilize my resources. I can transfer the virtual machine from this place to another place. Like I can copy into external hard disk, and I can put it in my desktop, or maybe I can copy. Like last time, I created a machine and I installed a Oracle 11Z. I installed 11Z in one Linux machine. I configured correctly. I configured correctly. It's working good. So one of our student, she's moving to Hyderabad. That time she asked, "Sir, I want to practice at my home because it took time for joining time anyway." So after her interview completed, so she asked like, "Sir, I want that image." So it's configuring again. It's difficult. So I copied entire thing into our PC and I configured it. So just I copied my virtual machine and pasted into her machine and open and start working. So very simple, right? So if you want to see, this is a server, right? So we'll go to that one. This is a F drive. So this is my F drive. You can see my virtual machines. These are all virtual machines only. Everything is a folder. Morning we seen. See, this is 2003 server. If you want, just copy this one. Right click, just copy. There is a copy option. Just copy and paste into your machine or send it to your drive. Then automatically you can able to access. Or otherwise I convert into a small cap file type. Okay, so then I can give it to you. This is 2012 server. Okay, this is a Jenkins server, means Windows 10 with a Jenkins application is there. Okay, like that. Okay, where I keep other machines, I can put in few machines in here also. Latif VMs, these are also virtual machines. Okay, so like that you can move your virtual machine from one place to another place. Can you move this machine directly from here to other machine? We can't move entire this setup from this PC to another PC. Okay, so because this operating system is binded to this hardware, but virtual machine not binding to hardware. So understanding virtualization by what we know is a virtual machines only. Okay, so what is the virtualization? By functionality, it works like a physical entity only, but it utilize the resources. It utilize the physical resources, but it not bind into physical resources. It not binding to physical resources. That is the virtualization. Okay, just for I understand, and also I given two statement. Which one is better for you? Or you can try anything other. You can try also. Here it is telling five type of virtualizations, but in my PPT I have a different type of virtualization. So we'll go to type of virtualizations in based on PPT. Okay. Okay. These are the type of virtualization: server virtualization, desktop virtualization, user state virtualization, presentation virtualization, network virtualization, and application virtualizations in a Microsoft Windows. This is a SCVMM related one. That's why it is giving these many virtualizations. Okay, here is a explanation is given in this one, so you can try if you want. So I'm going to share this one. So someone is sharing something, so you can try to get those statements from. Okay, try. So they're giving. So I am taking from one by one desktop virtualization. No, 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 no. First one is for me. It is always server virtualization. Okay. Next is a desktop virtualization. Application virtualization is okay. So now you can no need to follow the thing. Okay. Network virtualization. Last time in a one or two interviews, they ask what is storage virtualization. That's why I'm taking from here. Okay. Okay. So server virtualization, desktop virtualization, application virtualization, network virtualization, and storage virtualization as per this one. Okay. So type of virtualizations, or you can put this one also. Server virtualization, application, network virtualization, presentation virtualization, user state, and desktop. So here, server, desktop, application, network is a common one. So here you got a user state, and this is a. So when a time if interview say you can say server, desktop, application, network only. That's it. Okay. So commonly these things are covered. Okay. So what is server virtualization is given here, and as well as that website is there. That is website I didn't read, never read that one. But I will explain what is a server virtualization, what is a desktop virtualization, client side and VDA. Two types are there. Network virtualization you can see from there. Okay, so we'll go to the server virtualization. Big story, guys. Just this is a server. Okay, this is a server. Okay, here layer by layer. Try to understand layer by layer. This is a hardware layer. Okay, hardware layer. What is the hardware means? Hardware means CPU, RAM, usually hard disk normally. So we have a three main resources are there, no? CPU, RAM, hard disk. This is the hardware layer. Okay. um, Next, I started with the server, right? So 1 second, for understanding I'm copying this one and paste. How to paste this one? See, that's a mistake. Copy, paste, take it this side. Okay, and so I will paste it something. So I will utilize this one. So another layer. What is the next layer? Normal system. So now we will talk about normal system. Okay. So another layer is operating system, right? Another layer is operating system. Normal system, hardware layer, operating system layer, and application layer. Okay. So applications, applications, applications. run based on your operating system and utilize your hardware, right? This is a single system. So a lot of applications are there. They are running on your operating system and it utilize your hardware, because your hardware, without hardware your resources you cannot run operating system or applications also. Okay. So this is a dependent layers, right? Here anything we can't move because it's a completely binding. Operating system is binding to your hardware, and applications is also binding here, and this one is binding to here. Not only utilization, it is completely binding. Okay, in this the normal system. Oh, okay, no volume. Okay, here. Uh, so what is a operating system? Operating system is a part, is a one part is a kernel, another part is shell. So the kernel is try to interact with your hardware and shell interact with your user, right? So this is a part of operating system also. Okay. Here in a type 1 virtualization means we are talking about server virtualization. Here one more layer is there. This is not a actually layer. It's a platform is going to be installed on this one. That is called a hypervisor. Okay, something is installed directly on this one. It is not actually operating system, but it contains a kernel. It contains kernel and shell, very basic interaction only there, just for visibility purpose. So this is a hypervisor and this is your hardware. This hypervisor is installed directly on your hardware. So we don't have any traditional operating system here, like normal system like a Windows, Linux or something. We are not installing that operating system here. We are installing a hypervisor types only directly on your hardware. So this hypervisor will give you a small interface to connect this PC, like network connections, okay, console connections, remote connections. So small connection we are getting from outside. So using that remote we can able to access this machine, not like a normal system. Okay, this is hypervisor layer. This hypervisor directly installed on your hardware, and using this hypervisor we can create a multiple virtual machines. What is a server virtualization? Means we can create a virtual machines in the server by installing hypervisor. Okay, so it's a name that the operating system is a name, right? But what type of operating system means what company, what type of operating system it is. So definitely question mark will come up, right? So we'll see that one. Different organizations came with different type of hypervisors. For example, Microsoft Hyper-V. Core Hyper-V is nothing but a hypervisor. Hyper-V. Okay, Hyper-V. Microsoft. From Microsoft, I put MS because space is not there. Okay, from VMware. From VMware, small v, capital S, vSphere, or E, sorry, ESXi, small I. The name is like that, vSphere or ESXi. If you type anything, you will get it. Citrix, Citrix, Pen server, hypervisor. Okay, so different organization came up with different names here. Linux base. So any Linux or Unix, KVM, QEMU, KVM, QEMU. That name is like that only. Okay, KVM, QEMU. So that is a hypervisor platform from Linux. Linux based systems like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Oracle Enterprise Linux, and OS are that one. They use this platform as a KVM. QEMU from Linux. Core hypervisor is also we can able to do it. There's a free availability. One is there that is called Linux is also free. Proxmox, Proximox or Proxmox. Once again, we have to verify Proxmox as I remember. Try Proxmox. It is taking a lot of time. Anything it should show, no? So Proxmox.com. So Proxmox hypervisor. It's a open source. Proxmox is a open source. You can use Proximox. You can go to website and download a Proximox. Like VMware, we have to pay. Citrix, we have to pay. Linux, again, we have to download from the separately, or maybe comes with the operating system. Hyper-V comes with an operating system, and Core Hyper-V is also available. And of course, for production usage, you need to pay for all these things. But Proximox, you need to pay. It's a developer version. If you are interested, you can take their kernel and you can develop also. It's a community version. Anybody can take their kernel and they can develop it. So that is a community website is there. So you can go to community, you can sponsor for that one. Like you have a money, you can sponsor it, or maybe you can take a kernel and you can develop and post it. So that is a possibility. It's a open source. Proximox is a open source virtualization platform. Okay, I think you guys are already written. Okay, I'm going to server virtualization, hypervisor, type of hypervisors by different organizations. Okay, this type of server virtualization also called as a bare metal virtualization. Bare metal virtualization. Okay, it's a core virtualization type, means only pure virtualization platform, not extra things. Means if you want to install some application here, you can't install a application you can't able to install it. Okay. Mm. Because operating system you can install application or a service, separate service, but this hypervisor knows only hypervisor related thing, means virtualization related things only. You don't know any other extra services like a DHCP, DNS kind of services. You don't know. So this virtualization also called as bare metal virtualization. Okay, what is it? Bare metal virtualization, and this is called a type 1 virtualization. It is called a type 1 virtualization. So this is about your server virtualization and how it is there in a different ways, but in the terms of Hyper-V it is different, and the remaining things are little bit different. So Hyper-V is comes with your operating system plus core Hyper-V is also there. You can type Hyper-V server download. Just put a download. You can. This is not an application, so you have to download directly like a operating system only. How you install operating system? Same thing. You have to install a server core only. So it is rotating. So, okay. Of course, there is a conditions also there, like per core license is also there. Per core license. How many cores are there in your PC? So like that. Okay, along with your server, separate Hyper-V server is also there. Okay, unlimited, so you need to worry about a time limit. You can practice also. Just you can continue. Then you have to put a Microsoft account, username, password, and all. You can download it. Once you download, install like a machine only. Okay, like you are how we install a 2016, same thing we can install like that only. Okay, so that is Hyper-V. Next, also Hyper-V comes with a operating system. Okay, so for Hyper-V, Hyper-V server is there. Only simple Hyper-V server, core Hyper-V server is also there. So latest version is 2019, 2016, 2012, 2008 also there. Okay, and Hyper-V. This is the latest one I am written. Hyper-V server is there, and Hyper-V with OS. That is no OS. It's just Hyper-V itself is there. Okay, Hyper-V with OS. Hyper-V with OS is from Windows, as you know. Okay, Windows 8, sorry 8, 8.1, Windows 10 Pro, and Enterprises editions only. Pro and Enterprises only. Okay, Windows 8 Pro, Windows 8 Enterprise, Windows 8.1 Pro, Windows 8.1 Enterprise, like that only. Windows 10, sorry, Windows 2008 R2, sorry, 2008 X64, 2008 R2, because it's R2 is directly 64. Okay, length is enough for that. So Windows Server, these are all servers, guys. So 2012 and 2012 R2 also there. Okay, and 2016 and 2019. So these are a Windows server which contains, because 2008 having a 32-bit and 64-bit. Okay, um, so this is like X64 means 64-bit R2. These are all 64-bit only, from all is 64. So operating system and Hyper-V both you are getting. You are getting Hyper-V and operating system. Okay. Next, in a server, in Windows Server. Okay, all this edition, along with this edition, there is a standard edition, and data center edition is there. In Windows Server, standard edition and data center edition. Last time we selected a data center desktop edition, right? Because it's a core, and where I said a data center only. Okay, if you remember, there is no difference in a minimum and maximum references are there. In a standard edition, you will get a two only two virtual machine license. You will get it per core. Per core, it's because it's a license is based on per core. So like standard edition, if you have a 10 cores means 10 license you have to take it. Per core, you will get a two free virtual machines, two Hyper-V virtual machines, two EMs you can able to create. Here unlimited, VMs you can create unlimited virtual machine, but at a time 1024 VMs you can use it. We can't create a we can create a 1000, 2000, 3000, but maximum we can use 1024. Why maximum 1024 at a time? Because your CPU has a limits, right? You have a 10 core processor. Maximum processors allowed is 640 core processors are allowed in a data center. Okay, 640 core processors are allowed in a, availability means 10 processor socket if you are using a Xeon processor. Sorry, 64 processor sockets are allowed. Per socket 10 cores. 64 sockets, 64 sockets, CPU sockets. Okay, per socket means one socket, one CPU. In CPU, 10 cores are there. One CPU, 10 cores are there. So that is okay. So how many are there? 40 cores. Even a RAM also maximum allowed is 1 terabyte only per license. Per core per license it is. Total operating system support in a one single motherboard. Single unit. 4 terabytes of RAM support. So okay, so you can't run all the machines that time. Okay. If anybody having a crorepati here, anybody having that much money, we can try 640. I don't want 640 also. At least 2 Xeon processor, motherboard, at least 120 GB, 128 GB RAM, at least two NAS storage, SAN storage, iSCSI storage. We'll try a basic server at least. I put i3. It's a 4 core processor without a threads. 16 GB RAM last time for practical. Okay, so this is the limitation because that is it. Okay, per core only. Unlimited virtual machine we can create per core license. Okay, per core. Yeah, means if you have it 10 crores, then 10 license then. And per core we can use 102 for virtual machines only. We cannot use more than that one. Okay, so this is about your Hyper-V. So what is a Hyper-V? Hyper-V is future in Windows. Okay, so Hyper-V is a hypervisor. Hyper-V is a now it is a hypervisor from Microsoft. It's a Type 1 virtualization. It's a Type 1 virtualization. It's a bare metal virtualization. Okay, Hyper-V server is available. Latest server is 2019. Of course, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2019 Hyper-V servers also there. Hyper-V also comes with your Windows operating system like Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10, professional and enterprise editions only. And it comes with Windows Server, Windows 8 64-bit, Windows 8 R2, Windows 2012 server, 2012 R2 server, 2016 server, 2019 server. Windows servers usually having a mainly two editions. There are a lot of editions are there, but important editions are only two. That is the standard edition and data center. Both are we can able to create a domain controller, other services. All services support in a both data center and standard. But in a data center to data center to standard edition difference is only two virtual machines per core. Okay, per core license we will get only two virtual machines we can create and run. We can create more if you create four virtual machines, but you can run only two. We can run only two. Okay, so data center edition we can create unlimited virtual machines per core license, but we can run at a time 102 for virtual machines. So this is about your Hyper-V. But inside of Hyper-V we should learn it. Inside of Hyper-V we should learn it. I will show you that how to install. I will show you how to install Hyper-V in Windows Server 2016. So how to install? Go to the roles. You know roles how to go and select Hyper-V. Next. Install, and there is a checkbox and finally install, and it will restart at least two times. Let it restart and we will manage it. Okay, so I will try to show you how to install now. what I will do. Okay, tomorrow I will show you. Okay, I don't show you now, so tomorrow I will show you practical part, right? Because I want to give the details of virtualizations. Okay, so this is a type 1 virtualizations and all. Tomorrow, if possible, I will show you the ESXi in a different PC. So from there, I can able to present it. You can see next. Okay, guys, I done this one. Okay, this is a bare metal virtualization. What about this VMware? What we call this VMware workstation, virtual box, what we call this VMware workstations and virtual box and all, okay, that comes under desktop virtualization. For example, in a desktop virtualization is not completely we should throw on one point, because desktop virtualization two things are there. One thing means second thing is this is a virtual machine. It contains operating system and like it is a system, right? It is a system. Again, I will virtualize this one. Again, I will give access to the client. For him, it is accessible like a remote desktop is accessing this virtual machine. We forget to mention that one, right? How to access virtual machine, that is important. So how to install a thing, we will see that one later. But in a type 1 virtualization only, in type 1 virtualization means in a hypervisor type only. Okay, how to access VMs. Virtual machine is in a server, right? How to create a virtual machine is there, but here we'll see first how to access that virtual machine. How to access the virtual machine is important, right? We can use remote desktop. Okay, we can use a remote desktop if in case mainly remote desktop protocols we can use it. Anybody remember port number? Remote desktop protocol, RDP port number. Okay, so Windows remote desktop protocol is there. Um VNC player is there for accessing remotely, because virtual machine having an IP address, so then we can able to access from there to here. Like I have a server and VM is running in there, but I want to access from there to here, so I can access. I can access. How can I access? Using remote desktop protocols. Okay, we can use it and remote protocols also. Remote access protocols also. Remote access protocols like SSH, Telnet. So normal Windows RDP we can use it. Remote desktop protocol like um, Team Terminal Server (TS), like a terminal server type. Remote desktop protocols MSTSC. Okay, MSTSC is a Microsoft terminal server connection. So like a RDP. So any name you can say RDP, MSTCS, VNC, Real VNC, Tiger VNC, Team VNC. Okay, like you can see the screen. VNC space is also there. There is a Spicer space, Spiky Spice space. This is some terminals are there. Next one is normally SSH telnet. Like if it is a Linux, for example, I have a Linux here. Then what is the use? What is the better one is SSH, right? Putty. So from our my PC, I can access this virtual machine using SSH protocol. Very simple, right? It's running VM. Okay, I don't want enter desktop. I want a terminal, so I use SSH here. For example, this is a Windows one. I use RDP here. Okay, so this is how we can able to access the virtual machines. Okay, like this is the terminal. Next, uh, next one is desktop virtualization. Okay, so what is a desktop virtualization? It's, I don't have a server. I don't have any server. I am using my desktop, but I want a multiple desktops because I want work with the one Linux, and I want to work with a Windows server. I want to work with a Windows client. Okay, I want to practice on something in a different client PCs. Okay, so I want a multiple desktop environment. I want a multiple desktop environment, not just multiply my desktop. I want a desktops, multiple type of desktops. For example, here my VMware workstation, this is Linux, this is server, and if you see here in the this side, I have different operating system. See, this is a monitoring related thing. Nagi OS is there. This is a Windows XP. If you want to see, I will show you Windows XP. I've opened 2003 server. Okay, this is again Linux. Okay, this is a this also Linux. Okay, so like that, this is a 2012 also there, this is 2012. Okay, so all these machines, I want a different operating system I want to run on my desktop. So that is called a desktop virtualization. So client side virtualization allow virtual machines to run on a client computer, provide a application compatibility solution by allowing user to run virtualized instance of earlier operating system and applications. I need old operating systems to run it, like that. So client side virtualization. Actually, the desktop virtualization word came from Windows 7 onwards. Like when 7, Windows 7 introduced mainly professional edition. When it is came to the market, lot of people unable to use XP based applications, and the drivers also not available, not compatible with the Windows 7. So in a window, I have Windows 7, Windows 7 Professional, Enterprise, or Ultimate editions are there. So I will use a Professional or a Enterprise also. So what happened? People are missing Windows XP based application. Means application is built for Windows XP, but not running on a Windows 7. The drivers means like a printer driver, scanner drivers are actually built based on XP, but not based on a 7 in earlier stages. So what they done? They introduce XP mode. Okay, this XP mode, just install the virtual PC and XP mode. Automatically you will get a XP environment in your Windows 7, and Windows XP mode runs these applications drivers in your PC. The pure form of starting, in a starting, I'm not saying now, I'm starting time, so you can see that desktop virtualization part. Okay, later on days different desktop virtualization thing came to market. So this is from Microsoft in earlier stages. Okay, now we got a Hyper-V. Okay, Hyper-V is also supporting desktop virtualization kind of stuff because comes with operating system, and we already know that one. Okay, so whenever you use this kind of stuff, it is simply a desktop operating system support only. Citrix also providing desktop supporting operating system. From VMware also providing. Okay, from VMware we are getting a VMware workstation generally. From Microsoft world is from Microsoft, the world is virtual PC. Virtual PC. Citrix, I forget that one. Zen desktop. Okay, so Zen desktop. Any other things are there? Yeah, it is there. So many are there. Okay, so VMware personally desktop virtualization tools also there. Okay, Horizon something is there. Okay, Horizon I think VMware desktop virtualization tool. Horizon name is Virtual Desktop App Management VDI Platform Environment. Actually, it is Horizon, but I'm not going to the Horizon thing and desktop virtualization download is also there. This is desktop and app virtualization purpose. This is different one. Oracle, we forget Oracle VirtualBox. You can go through it and you can learn. Okay, so here, so when you see that horizon thing, that is a different part, but I'm telling to one important part here, and okay, that I will see that one. So you see here it is operating system. What I'm trying to say is I need an application. Okay, this application run hypervisor environment. Application run hypervisor environment. Okay, applications run hypervisor environment. Okay, and it support, it will take information from the CPU. So application generally runs on operating system. Guys understand, just keep if I 10 minutes is enough for me, so I will explain entire thing. Application runs on a operating system and it utilize, okay, hardware resources. It not runs on hardware directly, like your direct hypervisor runs on hardware directly. Okay, it runs directly on hardware, but it is not runs on hardware directly. It runs through operating system. It utilizes hardware resources, but runs on an operating system and runs on hardware through operating system only, because it's an application. The application provide a hypervisor environment. What applications are there in a market? So different applications from Microsoft Virtual PC. It won't work on a Windows 8 and 10. Okay, it works up to XP Vista 7 only. Okay, it's not working on a 8 onwards. Next, Citrix Zen Desktop is there from Oracle, free version from Oracle. VirtualBox is there. We should not give space. And from VMware Workstation is there. VMware Workstation and VMware Player. Player is a free edition. Workstation is a paid edition. VirtualBox is from Oracle. Of course, Zen Desktop is also supporting. Okay, and other form of VMware like Zen Desktop. Okay, Origin. Which one is Origin or this one? Horizon. So I actually tried there and after that when I got out myself. Okay, this function is different. This function is different because it works with a Zen desktop. Zen app is also there. Okay, Zen app is there. So this function is different. So you have to keep it a distance between these things. Okay. So in generally we don't use Citrix, Zen desktop, and normal I didn't never use it. Okay. So VMware workstation, VMware player, VMware something other place name is there. VMware Fusion. VMware Fusion. I'll show you that VMware Fusion. This Fusion is for Mac PCs, not for Windows PCs. Fusion. Okay, VMware Fusion for Mac. This is for Mac. Okay, Fusion for Mac. Okay, so these are the desktop virtualization part. So what is that meaning? This is those are nothing but an applications provide a hypervisor environment, runs on a operating system, and through operating system only we are interacting with your resources, and we are creating a virtual machines in our desktop environment only, and we can able to access it. Hyper-V we cannot consider as a server virtualization or desktop virtualization, but we can use Hyper-V in a both device. Core Hyper-V called as a server virtualization in our desktop. If it is there, then it is desktop virtualization. Whatever it is, whenever you able to create a virtual machine in your desktop and you are accessing virtual machine in your desktop, that is called a desktop machine. Sorry, desktop virtualization. Very simple. Okay, that is called a desktop virtualization. So whenever a client is able to create, and whenever a desktop user able to create access virtual machine in his desktop, it means that is a desktop virtualization. Different tools we are using here, that's Microsoft virtual PCs. If in case if you are having a professional or enterprise edition of Microsoft Windows 8 or 8.110, you'll get a Hyper-V. So VMware workstation, VMware player, and VR Fusion for usually from VMware desktop applications only. VirtualBox, Zen Desktop, these are applications from different organizations like Oracle and Citrix. VirtualBox is a free edition, you can use it. Virtual PC is a free edition but not working in a new environment. VMware Player is a free edition from Windows and Linux environment. It supports both Windows and Linux environments. VMware. VirtualBox also. Okay. Next. Of course, this is a server virtualization, desktop virtualization. Next one is application virtualization is also there. Okay, so that is we will talk later. Um, okay, so go to the virtualization. Yeah, application virtualization is also there, right? So I will give that information also then. Application virtualization means virtualize the application. Application running on a data center means centralized PC. We can access the applications like multiple users access the same applications. So I didn't complete the desktop virtualization actually. This is my server or a data center. I have an application. Okay? I have an application. So you want to access this application, you have to go to that server, right? But if I virtualize this application, so it is not binded to my resources. Use this hardware resources. It utilize the hardware resources, but it not binding to my hardware and operating system. It utilize OS platform and hardware resources, but it is not binding. So user in the different places, they can access these applications remotely, right? So this is an application I'm accessing from here. I run the application here, and I work with application here, but it will utilize the resources from here. I'm use application here. It utilize the resources here. Understand? This is a client PC. Application is here, running here. I use application in my desktop only. Okay. I run again. this person also can able to use it like C2. He can also open the application, he can run the application. Okay, so both are running same application and which is running in this server. Okay, so how it is a possible? It's possible with the application virtualization. We have to virtualize the applications. If you are virtualize application come desktop, that is a desktop and application virtualization, that is a horizon. Okay, so this is application virtualization. By using different tools we can able to virtualize the application, and so then multiple users can able to access the application through network without installing into your PC, or maybe without utilize your more resources from your PC. So that is application virtualization. Guys, if you don't believe, then what can I do? So I will show you something. You know this site, right? Why it is not open every time? I typed wrongly. Okay, doc docs space google.com. Right? Okay, this is a documents, right? This is a documents. I open a document. Document means it's an application, right? This is an application, right? It's this is what is this application? Google Meet, YouTube, my dashboard. This is an application, right? I'm open something. Okay, okay. I've opened some document. Now in my browser, the document related process is running, but actually the if you open a MS Word, it utilizes your resources to run that application. The MS Word depends upon your operating system. MS Word depends upon your operating system. MS Word utilize your hardware resources directly. Directly it is utilizing, or through operating system it is utilizing, right? But this is a Docs, Google Docs, right? It's a running in my PC. It is running in my PC. I got a ball on this. It taking a lot of time, so then I will create a new blank. So this is my. I'm going to create a document here. I'm creating a document. I can share the document. I can download the document. I can print the document. Where this process is running in my browser, it is running, of course, but actually it is running in my Google server. Manage this thing. It running in currently. Document is stored in Google and it is run by Google only. It's a simple example. Next one is Office 365. Office 365 by Office Online. Yeah, I have to open, but it will take a lot of time to open that one. I will removing it. Okay. So I click on this one. Why it is not open? Still maybe it is open in background. Office Online. Okay, Office Online. Your Gmail account. You are pulling mails from your there, but who is processing that mail kind of stuff? Your remote PC only. It will take rotating only. It will take time. So don't worry about that. Okay. So this is called application virtualization. What is application virtualization? The application run in a remote server, and we are accessing the application from our client PC through different various types, directly or through browser. Okay, like that. From Microsoft, to make this virtualization app V from Microsoft. Okay, app V. This is for both desktop and application, but virtualizing both desktop and apps also. Like desktop running in a server and app is also running in there. So you can access a desktop and apps like that. Of course, there is a terminal kind of stuff is there. Citrix, Xenap. Citrix is the best one. Even if you don't know, also no follow. What happened? Xenap. Okay, Xenap is a tool. So this is a tools we use in application virtualization. Two more things are there. One is the network virtualization and storage virtualization is there. Okay, so I will show you that both the things tomorrow. Okay, so network virtualization is nothing. You know VMware, VMnet 1, VMnet 0, VMnet 8. That is a network virtualization only. Very simple to understand network virtualization is you have a NIC. You have a NIC. NIC. Okay, so here, no. I have an NIC. So through NIC one, for example, NIC one, I'm accessing. This is NIC. Okay, this is NIC. Why I'm telling you. This is adapter NIC one, and externally I'm connected. System is utilizing. Okay, system is connected to NIC. Right. So NIC, it has an NIC and external connection. Now network is going inside and outside. I have a virtual adapter. Okay, this is a virtual adapter. Okay, for example VMnet 0, because VMware I will show you different, that's why I'm telling VMnet 0. So you are not getting network, so what I done, I create a bridging from this to this one. So a virtual machine is the virtual machine which is connected to VMnet 0. Your adapter you change it to VMnet 0, you are getting external network or not, right? This is a network virtualization. This is virtual adapter. It is bridging between your physical adapter to virtual machines. It's virtualizing that one like that. One more is there. NIC 2, NIC 3, NIC 4. Okay. This is externally connected, externally connected, externally connected. You know, we can bind all these things as a single NIC. We can bind all this NIC as a one single NIC only. Okay. So that is called a team. That is called a team. What's team? NIC team. NIC teaming. It means combining multiple disks into sorry combining multiple NICs into single NIC only. It means if you have a one NIC, you have one IP address. This is having some IP address, right? Okay. I will change the color for writing. This is having an IP address. This is also IP address. This is having one IP address, right? But here we don't have a single three IP address not there. Only single IP address, that is a team address. Three are functioning for same network only. Okay, three are functioning together for same network only. Okay, if one NIC is down, so I will take red color here. So one NIC is down, no problem. I have a other NICs are there. Still network is the same, service is running. That is a NIC teaming. Guys, just note down aside what I'm telling. NIC teaming, bridging, virtual adapters, like this. NIC teaming, um, remind me tomorrow. If I forget, please tell me tomorrow. I will explain what is that NIC teaming also. Okay, NIC teaming. So this is also called as a virtualization. Hyper-V, I will show you different things that we'll see that one. Okay, next, storage virtualization. Storage virtualization. See, we are adding multiple disk into. Okay, we add a multiple disk into together and become a large disk, right? That is right. We add a multiple disk into become a large group, and again we created a small volumes using LVM technique, right? So this all comes under storage virtualizations. Because I am telling if I forget or if I miss the point, so don't. Virtual hard disk. Okay, virtual disk. Your iSCSI disk is a virtual disk. Okay, you have created a VMware in virtual hard disk. Your operating system is in virtual hard disk. VMware files are in normal hard disk. I will show you that one. Yeah, Latif VMs. Okay, anything. See, here it is. This is a virtual hard disk. The Linux operating system stores in VMDK file. Okay, it's a 5.5 GB. And remaining are this is also VMDK files, sub files only. This is I added some 10 GB files here, maybe 100 GB. I don't know. This is a VMX file, hardware file. This is a NVRAM file, means RAM file. You have to go to currently running what machine. So currently two machines are running, right? Mm, Win S1 is running. So yeah, I told you this one LCK. Like it is showing a disk error and all. So remove these things, then it will work. Okay. Now all and see. Can you see here? It is VMDK hard disk, virtual hard disk. Okay, and this is a VMem. This is create this one actually. This is a 2 GB showing, right? This is showing 2 GB. It means it's a memory RAM RAM file. All are remaining are different, like a log files, hardware file, and some other files are there. Okay. So what is this file meaning? Okay. What is this? The meaning of these things is your virtual machine files store in normal hard disk. Store in hard disk, right? This is a H drive. Inside a H drive in a folder, and these are all virtual machine files are stored in normal hard disk. But virtual machines operating system content files, machine content files stores in virtual hard disk. Okay, so we have a virtual hard disk inside. Okay, that is called virtual hard disk. We can store the data as a normal data. Okay, that is a one. In a Windows we have a VDX, PhD, PHDX. These two type of virtual hard disk files are there. Tomorrow I will show you that one. Okay, so this is about virtualization point. So tomorrow we'll see network virtualization, means in a Hyper-V I will show you network virtualization. NIC teaming if possible I will show you. So otherwise remind me, and I will show you that virtual hard disk part also, how to mount, how to use virtual hard disk also I will show you. Okay, and we'll see the cloud also. We'll complete the cloud part tomorrow only. So tomorrow is a Sunday. I thought still I'm in a Friday only, one day back. Okay, tomorrow is a Sunday. So come at 10 o'clock only. Any changes I will tell, but 10 a.m. tomorrow again. 5-10 minutes is okay, but don't be late, very late. Be there at 9:30 and start you check the whole notes. So then you can ask questions. Ask me questions you are not asking. So okay, that's it.